A lot of road games, and we talked to Kirby Smart earlier today. He talked about any road win in the SEC is a big road win. Just the mentality going on the road in this conference. What kind of mentality do you and your teammates have to take, and especially with all the close road losses you guys have had over the past year?
Yeah, for sure. Road games were a little difficult for us last year, and whether that was lack of focus or whatnot, whatever that was, we need to really hone in this year on, just focus on winning those games. And you're not just away games too, it's home games. Every single game we play, we got to treat every game the same. We can't just treat one game like it's, Texas. We got to treat every game like it's a rivalry game, like it's Texas, and go out and compete to our best ability.
You were just thrust into the starter going into the Arizona Bowl game. I had 2 weeks to prepare. Can you talk about just what you noticed, just mainly about yourself between then and now, and how different is Jackson Arnold today than as a leader compared to then?
Yeah, for sure. After that Arizona game, there's a lot of maturing and a lot of growing up that I had to do. Stepping into that QB1 role, I had to be a real leader for us, for our team. And just stepping into that role, I knew I needed to mature as a person, as a player too, and the person that I am now and the player that I am now is improved drastically from where I was from that bowl game.
First-year starters in college football, there tend to be ups and downs. You're going to have great moments. You're going to have tough moments. You've referenced it back in the big room, just the fact that you were thrust into a situation where you had to start pretty young in high school. Did you learn anything from that might help you just mentally work through sort of the peaks and valleys and how you might approach that as a first-year starter in the SEC?
Mm-hmm. Just, adversity is going to strike one way or another. Just knowing that I have to keep a level head, and I have to, just learn from those opportunities and not really beat myself down from it is probably the biggest learning point I could take from that.
How confident are you in this team is ready for the challenge that is an SEC schedule?
Yeah, I'm extremely confident in this team. I think I can speak for everybody on the team that we're all super amped up to go out and play this SEC schedule. It's a tough one for sure, but we love the challenge. We want the challenge, and we wouldn't want it any other way.
The starting quarterback at Oklahoma, a program that's rich with tradition at the quarterback position, a lot of Heisman Trophy winners, and that kind of sets the expectation for that position at Oklahoma. So how do you kind of just handle that pressure?
For me, first thing is to stay off social media. That blocks out a lot of pressure, and two, just honestly, just kind of ignore it too. Just block out the pressure. I feel like there's only pressure if you bring that pressure onto yourself. So just kind of staying calm and collected, and staying off social media has been the biggest way for me to deal with that pressure.
Have you gotten a chance to play the EA college football game, and what are your thoughts on your representation in it?
Yeah, we actually played on the plane right here today. Me and Danny did. And it's honestly, it's really surreal playing the game. I grew up playing NCAA 14 with my friends and with my cousins, and just seeing that I'm now in the game and I'm able to play as my character now, it's really special.
Brent, after every spring game, talks about the growth you guys have to make before training camp even starts. For you, what did that look like as far as looking back on your spring, what you wanted to attack this summer, and how'd you go about that without kind of the structure of spring practice, fall camp practice stuff?
I felt like the biggest thing for me after spring ball was attacking the mental side of football, whether that's looking at defenses or how Coach V looks at offenses. Getting a defensive perspective of the game, but just really focusing on the mental part of football and just kind of learning different things that will help me ID coverages or help me make better reads for the season.
Jackson, Coach Venables and your teammates have both mentioned about how important it is to stand well in the trenches in this SEC schedule. You lose, obviously, a lot of starting offensive linemen. How do you feel about your group after this spring going in and being able to handle those rigors of the SEC week to week?
I feel great about that group. They've been busting their tail all spring and all summer. And, it's a young group, it's a new group, but we also brought in guys from other places that have played a ton of ball. Branson's a great example, played 3 years at SMU and started there. We don't have guys that have never played ball before. We just brought in new guys that are new to the OU culture, but I feel like they've adapted very well, and I'm really confident about that group.
Jackson, just curious, what have you learned about yourself, either as a leader or as a quarterback or just a person, whether it was sitting behind Dylan and learning to the success you had in high school and now dealing with the expectations here in the preseason? What have you learned about yourself as a person or a player?
For me, I feel like I've learned to be very resilient, especially after the bowl game. I had that experience my freshman year of high school, yeah, but it's different at this college level. You know, there's a lot more eyes on me, a lot more negativity that can be thrown your way, and just being resilient and just being able to overcome that adversity was huge for me after the bowl game, and it'll be big for us this fall too, because, you know, we will face adversity. You know, Coach V says, you know, you either just came out of a storm, you're going into a storm, or you're in a storm right now. So adversity's coming your way. And just being resilient and being able to fight that was something I learned about myself this spring.
Danny was talking a little bit earlier that your arm has increased a lot this last spring, and with that added threat of your legs being a great scrambling quarterback, how is the RPO going to look for the Sooners this year?
Can you say that again?
How is the RPO going to look for the Sooners this year? Can we expect a lot more from you guys in the run-pass option?
Yeah, I mean, RPO, it's really what the defense gives you. And honestly, it's going to be week to week. We're still going to run our RPOs that we've always ran, but at the end of the day, it's what the defense gives you. If they want to load the box or they want to fit guys into the box, we're going to pull it and throw the ball. That's just how we operate.